How's it going, and welcome to Flick of Things. My name is Daniel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background where I'm at as far as the whole Guardians movies. I really love the first one. It's actually one of my favorite MC movies of all time. And the second one I didn't really care too much. And given after everything that's been going on with the MCU recently, how they haven't put out a good movie in a while, especially with Thor Love and Thunder, Ant-Man. I was a little worried about this one, but I had a little bit of faith because James Gunn, all the movies he's done so far, I've enjoyed. Even though I really didn't care about, the Volume 2, I still think it was passable. So I still had a little bit of faith. It's like, all right, or is he going to, create his own thing, or it's going to be like a Kevin Feige type of thing. And honestly, I got to say, this is a good movie. I really enjoyed it. Finally, an MCU movie that's actually good. We haven't had one of those in a while, and I'm glad to say this one was really good. I really enjoyed it. I definitely liked it better than the second one. It's not as good as the first one. First one's still my favorite, but this one is definitely up there. Like I said, I thought this movie was really good. I mean, the characters are fleshed out pretty well. Obviously, as everyone kind of knows already, this is more so a Rocket story than anything else. They really flesh out his character. I'm pretty sure you heard the warnings, that there's some animal cruelty in it. And yes, there is. So if you have a weak stomach for animal cruelty, then, you might want to look away, or you might not want to see this movie at all, because it is there. But I feel like I really felt the emotion through those scenes. Yeah, James Gunn nailed it. Like, Rocket's character, you now understand where he comes from and why he's kind of, just kind of hard-headed and just kind of like, because he's been through a lot, So does this movie have a lot of James Gunn tropes? Yes, it does. But I would say it doesn't go overboard. And if you know James Gunn's, humor, it can be a little bit too much. I honestly, when Guardians of the Galaxy came out, I mean, his humor style kind of paved the way for the rest of the MCU, where basically every other MCU movie kind of like followed in its footsteps. That's trying to, mix in that, humor between drama. But it's kind of been a detriment to the whole MCU as far as like how specific drama scenes are not drawn out, or they don't let it like marinate. They don't let you soak it in. They don't let you process it. And in turn, they throw in a joke, and it's like, you go from 1 minute from being a sad scene to like someone makes a joke, and it's just like, it just kind of ruins the moment. There are some parts in here that are like that, but it's not like overboard, overdone. I think it's a perfect balance, I would say, between humor and drama. And when the drama scenes do happen, James Gunn lets them play out. And what really worked for me, honestly, is this movie's very different than any other MCU. It's really about, I wouldn't want to get into too much spoilers, but it basically, something happens, and then that leads the team to come together and try to fix it. This one problem that they have, and they just so happen to run into the main villain, and he kind of just so happens to be a part of the problem that they're trying to fix. So yeah, like, it's very different. It wasn't like your typical cookie cutter type of MCU movie. You got a main bad guy that they're trying to stop, and that's basically the whole plot line. He basically wants to take over the world and stuff like that. It's like I said, it's different. It's basically about a couple of pals, a couple of friends just getting together and trying to fix a problem. And I'm honestly surprised that, Kevin Feige and Marvel let James Gunn get away with it, because I feel like Kevin Feige has a lot of say in these movies, which has kind of led a lot of directors stepping down from a lot of the MCU movies. But this one, you could tell James Gunn had all his hands like into this movie. Kevin Feige, maybe I would say probably the end, you could tell like, okay, this is probably Kevin Feige's decision. But the majority of the movie, you could tell it's James Gunn's movie, and this is his last hurrah for the MCU, or like his send-off for the Guardians of the Galaxy. And another thing I loved was the villain. Obviously, I kind of mentioned the villain a little bit. But yeah, I thought he was great. I forget the actor who played him, but he played him really well. And it's not your typical, like I said, it's not your typical villain. It's not your typical story. It's very different. And the villain, he's just an evil jerk, an evil ass. He's just like very evil, and you really just hate him pretty much. And that's how I felt. I really hate him. Like, dude, I hate this guy's guts. You know, I just want him to die already. And that's what a villain should be, or at least that's what's like the MCU's been missing. You know, I feel like in general superhero movies, the villain, they always have to give this villain like a backstory, like a sad tragic story, so you could like sympathize with him and just kind of like relate to him. So you find yourself sometimes rooting for the bad guy or understanding the bad guy, where this guy's just a pure evil person and you really, really hate him. And that's what I really liked. It's like, you don't have to give him a backstory. You don't have to give him a reason why he's like the way he is. Yeah, he's just a bad guy. He's just straight up a villain. And as simple as that sounds, you know, sometimes that is what works best for a movie, and that's what it worked best for this movie. There's a couple things that I didn't like. I did feel like the movie is a little bit too long, and it does get a little bit messy towards the end. And like I said, I do feel like probably towards the end, Kevin Feige had a lot to say into the story, and it's just kind of like, you're like, I don't know about how I feel about that. I do feel like it could have been cut short a little bit, maybe 15 minutes, maybe even 20 minutes, because I do think the movie is 2 hours and like 40 minutes, I think. So it's a pretty long movie, and it does get a little messy towards the end, and I feel like it could have been cut down a little bit shorter. But the main thing that I did not like, and I really, really hated about the movie, was Adam Warlock. Yeah, I really didn't like his character at all. He just comes in out of the movie and is very, very pointless. Like, you literally could cut his scenes out. You can literally do nothing without the script. Well, I don't want to say nothing, but like you do. I mean, there is some crucial scenes. I don't want to get too spoilery. You still could have cut him out of the movie still, and nothing really, would have changed. I just feel like he's a throwaway character. They did tease him in the other movies. I think it was Guardians 2 or whatever, or I forget which one, but yeah, so I feel like they just kind of like, all right, since we tease him, we got to throw him in here, and it definitely shows, because he definitely feels like he's just thrown in there for the sake of it. Honestly, like Adam Warlock in the video game, the recent one that just came out from Square Enix, or I forget, not Ubisoft, but one of those. Anyways, yeah, I liked his character in that video game than in here. I just didn't like his character. I feel like, he was just useless, and definitely could have done away with him. But like I said, overall, this movie, I really enjoyed it. Visually, it's actually pretty impressive. A lot of MCU movies, well, most recent ones, the CGI has been pretty bad, but this one's actually pretty good. Obviously you got, when it comes to James Gunn's movies, he has like those classic, 80s music, 90s, whatever. So yeah, I think it's definitely a movie you guys should check out. Like I said, it's not as good as the first one, but definitely I feel like it's better than the second one. And yeah, finally a good MCU movie. I'm proud to say that, happy to say that. I've been frustrated with MCU, Disney, Marvel. I've been frustrated a lot, with Star Wars and Marvel. So finally we get a good MCU movie I can honestly, recommend. So yeah, I'm going to give this movie a score. I'm going to give it 3.5 out of 5 Star-Lords. And yeah, definitely check this movie out. It's definitely worth it. If you're looking for a good movie to catch this weekend or whatever, go check it out. So anyways, that's going to do it for my review. I hope you guys subscribe and like this video, and I'll catch you guys next one. See you.